Okay, usually Judge does those first, but she is here. Okay. Or she may be on Zoom. She could be on Zoom, so.
I haven't seen her yet, but she knows. I've seen her multiple times today. One
117 Legion Drive.
So trying to keep up.
Yeah, that's where you have to go, the 117 Legion Drive. There's a parking lot in there with the dumpster in it, right behind the $2 detention center. And you got to walk up to the side where it's open and go inside the courtroom. No, I let them know earlier that y'all were on the way over there. Give y'all the address to go over there.
You guys were just taking us right. We don't find it. Can you write the place for us? 117.
Yeah, 117 Legion Drive. And they're probably already done with it. That was earlier. You can talk to them. You can talk to them. It's a different court, not this courtroom.
Traffic number?
I don't have the number. No. You can look it up online. The county court, the associate judge, Judge White. Judge White. Virtual. It's on Zoom. Right. Can't go in there. Anybody else not here for county court one? Yes, I sure will.
We're on the record in 23 CCR 231-795, State of Texas versus Blake Anthony Robinson. Ms. Fry, we're here on a motion to reinstate.
Yes, Judge.
You may proceed with your argument.
Yes, Judge. Mr. Robinson mistakenly missed his first appearance date, and we're asking that his bond be reinstated so that we can get his case back on track. He just made a mistake. He didn't put it on his calendar. He thought it was the following week. And it was his first appearance. He's never been to court before, never been in any trouble before.
State.
Judge, I'm not opposed, but I will ultimately defer to you.
All right, I will grant the request. I need to make your client aware, though, that this is the court's one and only time that it will grant this request. If he misses a court date for any other reason whatsoever, including being in the hospital, he will lose his bond and a capias will be issued for his arrest.
Yes.
He will need to appear. I'm ordering him to appear not this Friday. Next Friday, the 5th at 8:30 a.m.
April the 5th, 8:30. May I check my
8:30 a.m.
calendar, Judge?
Right.
Yes, Judge, that's fine. We can be there. I can be there.
All right. I will see everybody on that date. Failure to appeal here will result in a capias being issued.
Understood. Thank you, Judge.
Very good. Free to go.
May we be excused?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
Sarah, who do I have out in the hallway?
Number one, attorney and defendant are here.
Is the interpreter here?
I don't see her in the waiting room yet. Oh, yes, she is. She is right there.
All right. Is Huerta in the hallway?
No.
All right. If I could have Henry Loyo, an attorney in the attorney-client meeting room. All right, I'm passing Huerta. You can schedule it for another day. Ms. Pizzurro, good morning. I've got
afternoon, Your
Leo
Honor.
here who needs an interpreter.
Mr. Lawyer.
All right, we are on the record in 23 CCR 234842, State of Texas versus Henry Loyo. If I could have the interpreter raise her right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm that you will truly and accurately translate from English to Spanish and from Spanish to English, so help you God.
I do.
Very good. All right, we're here for a status conference. Counselor, why don't you give me an update on the case?
Estamos
Yes,
acá para una
Calls,
conferencia
phone
sobre
calls,
el
interpreter.
estado del caso. Por favor, no me da, abogado, deme una actualización sobre el caso.
Apologies, Your Honor. Yes, so this case actually needs an immigration consult. I've just gotten all the information from Mr. Loyo, and I have my immigration attorney here. She just started with our office, so she's going to be able to help me out with getting all that done by next setting.
Su señoría, este caso de hecho necesita una consulta migratoria y acabo de recibir toda la información del señor Loyo. Estoy acompañado de mi abogada migratoria que es nueva en nuestra oficina, así que vamos a tener todo listo para nuestra siguiente fecha.
All right, we've got a little time to complete that immigration consult. Next court setting is on 5/23. So you got plenty of time. And if you come to a resolution before then, just call the court to set it for a plea hearing, Ms. Pizzurro.
Muy bien, tenemos tiempo para poder completar esta consulta migratoria. La siguiente fecha que vamos a tener va a ser el 23 de mayo, entonces vamos a tener suficiente tiempo. Si es que termina de hacer todo lo que necesita antes de eso, por favor comuníquese con nosotros para fijar su audiencia para un acuerdo declaratorio de culpabilidad.
Very good, Your Honor. I believe it should be done by then, and I'll be communicating with Marissa in the meantime to see if we can work it out.
Muy bien, su señoría, estaríamos listos entonces para esa fecha y me comunicaré con Marisa para ver qué es lo que podemos resolver.
I see, Ms. Sparks. Do you have something you'd like to say?
The defendant needs to report to the office to do his bond intake. He hasn't went yet.
El acusado necesita reportarse ante la oficina para realizar el registro de su caso de fianza. Todavía no lo ha hecho.
Okay, so you need to go to the probation office for pretrial to make sure that they they have to do their intake on you and make sure you're following the rules.
Muy bien, entonces usted tiene que ir a la oficina de libertad condicional, a la división de casos previos del juicio y tiene que registrarse y asegurarse de que cumpla todas las reglas.
He will report by tomorrow at 5 p.m. Any later than that, and he's in violation of court order.
Va a reportarse a más tardar a mañana a las 5 de la tarde. Si es que no lo hace, estaría violando o incumpliendo la orden del juez.
And I can get you the location of where that is if you don't know where it is.
Y si es que no saben dónde queda, le puedo dar la ubicación.
All right, very good.
Okay. Do he know where the office is?
¿Saben dónde queda la oficina?
I'll make sure he does. I'm going to give him the address if he doesn't. It's the Rosenberg office, correct?
Correct.
Me voy a asegurar de que lo sepa. Si es que no lo sabe, es la dirección de Rosenberg, ¿correcto? Correcto.
All right, very good. That concludes this matter. Thank you.
Muy bien, esto
Thank you,
concluye
Your
esta
Honor. Can
causa.
we excuse-
Gracias.
All right, you're free to go. Thank you, Ms. Pizzurro.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Jackson, into the attorney-client meeting room.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Alicia Romero, where's your client?
She told me she is at the light at 59 in Williams Way. I'm asking if the court would allow 5 minutes just for her to make it here to the courtroom. Could I stand down and reapproach when she's made it?
Two cases. If she's not here by then, I'm passing it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Help me out here, Sarah.
I pulled him in.
All right, we're on the record in 23 CCR 237-179, State of Texas, Curtis Robertson. Mr. Viz, we're here on a motion to modify bond conditions. You may proceed with your argument.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Robertson has two young kids, 3 and 4. He lives in Richmond. His kids go to school in Katy. He's also a server at Lazy Dog in Stafford. He either gets to work at 9 and works till approximately 4, or gets there at 5 p.m. and works till about 1 a.m. He passed a drug test this week. I'm happy to provide that to the court. It's just he doesn't want to set himself up for failure by missing calls because he's very busy. He's frequently on the road. I don't believe he's been called in to take a test with colors, but we just don't want to set him up for failure. We're happy to have him regularly tested for drugs. He took a test on 3/20. Actually, the test was taken on 3/19. We got results on 3/20. He was clean for everything. I'm happy to provide that to the court.
State.
Yes, Judge, given that the defendant has only been on bond conditions for 4 months now, it's our position that it's premature to make a motion at this point. From my understanding from Ms. Sparks, he has been tested, I guess, now 3 times, of which he has been negative for anything. But just given the nature of the crime, Judge, especially given the fact that, as he stated, he's a server, he works with alcohol regularly, it's a state position that it would just be safer for the public if we were to ensure that he was continuously tested. And I'm not opposed to readdressing this at another time further down the line if they consistently show that they are abiding by their conditions.
Is this case, does it involve drugs as the intoxicant?
No, Judge.
So it's alcohol.
Yes, Judge.
And Judge, he does have an interlock.
And he has a interlock device on his vehicle, correct?
Yes, Judge.
I would
Ms.
like,
Sparks, do we have any violations on the interlock device or any concerns regarding the interlock device that's been installed on this vehicle?
No, the pretrial monitor said he's compliant.
So, Mr. O'Brien, outside of alcohol, is there anything in in this defendant's history that would indicate a concern with drug use?
confirm real quick, Judge. I do not believe so. Actually, apologies. He has had a previous arrest for possession of marijuana from, I believe that was alongside, actually, yes, this case, Judge. So it was filed unadjudicated with this DWI. There was a possession of marijuana involved. So there is somewhat of a concern in regards to other drugs.
Mr. Vish?
Judge, that case was rejected under recent Senate bill. But other than that, he has zero criminal history. He's passed all his drug tests. He's had zero violations with his interlock. He's in complete compliance with his bond conditions.
Based on the allegations at the time of arrest, I'm denying your motion to modify. He'll continue on colors. We can readdress this motion, though. Let's see, we're at 4 months now, I believe.
Yes, Judge.
We'll readdress it at the end of June.
Judge, respectfully, with your decision, he's got a couple of trips planned. One is to a wedding in Indianapolis. He's also got a family trip to West Texas in a couple of weeks. How would you like to proceed with that? Can he go and test before and leaving town?
What are the dates?
I would have to ask Mr. Robertson.
I've got you right now, sir. Just give me one moment, I'm sorry. April 18th through the 21st, we are going to Kalahari Resort, just outside of Austin.
Okay, next set.
And then the other one, I'm not exactly sure. I think it's May 9th through the 12th would be in Indianapolis for a wedding. But I'd have to double check. It's for one of our friends, but it's mostly my wife's friend. But also,
I'll allow the travel dates as stated April 18th through the 21st and May 9th through the 12th. He'll be tested upon his return, Ms. Sparks, but he will be excused from his colors on those dates.
Okay.
And Judge, if those dates are inaccurate as presented by Mr. Robertson, I'll address you.
That'll be fine.
Thank
Okay.
you, Judge.
All right, that concludes the hearing. Y'all are free to go.
Thank you.
Judge, can we go to Mr. Lane?
That's fine. And his client is not in the courtroom?
Correct, he's in custody.
Mr. Lane, what's your client in custody for or and where?
in Fort Bend County, Judge.
He's in Fort Bend County jail?
Yeah, he pled to an 8-year deferred adjudication on the felony manufactured delivery case. One of the conditions of his probation was that he served 45 days in jail. So he turned himself in, I believe, March 1st, and he's sitting at his 45 days, Judge.
State, what do you want to do?
Judge, given the circumstances, the state would not move for bond forfeiture. I mean, we know where he is. I don't think there's quite a risk of flight. So I mean, not unopposed, but we're not moving for a bond forfeiture, Judge. And it appears we have another status setting before pretrial, so we have a little time.
All right, I'll waive his presence.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, they're also, the bond company filed an affidavit of surety to surrender yesterday. I called them immediately because they emailed it to me, and I'm like, look at the form, you check that he's not in custody and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, he is, maybe you should check the jail next time. So they had no idea that he was sitting in there on 45 days. So she's like, I'll get with my supervisor. So I don't know if they're going to withdraw that or what, but
It just got filed. I'm probably not even have it yet. So hopefully they'll withdraw it. Sarah, if it's in my queue for some reason, take it out. I doubt it since it was just filed yesterday. But we'll hold on to that and find out what they're going to do. All right, Mr. Lang, you're free to go.
thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Jackson, is your client here?
So Jackson and his client are coming, Judge.
Please. My client is here, Your Honor.
All right, we're on the record. 23 CCR 235016, State of Texas versus Alicia Romero. Mr. Jackson, your motion to reinstate.
Yes, Your Honor, if I could remind the court, brief discussion you and I had, this is a function of miscommunication between myself and Ms. Romero as to her initial appearance. My office had filed a motion to reinstate because of that. She has, to this point, not been a flight risk and not a danger to the community, and would ask the court to strongly consider reinstating her bond.
State.
Judge, the state is unopposed, but ultimately defers to you.
All right, she's present. I'll grant it. What I'd like, though, is Sarah, if you go ahead and draft a docket control order since she is here, let's get her to sign off on it. If you and your client would have a seat in the courtroom, my coordinator will be out there shortly.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we be excused.
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Godfrey, we're on the record in 23 CCR 234126, State of Texas versus Isaac Barrios. Ms. Godfrey, why don't you give me an update on this case?
I reached out to the prosecutor last week for an offer, and she said she would get back to me closer to the court date, but I did not receive an offer from her.
Why is
I
it?
emailed it to you yesterday, Sally. Sorry for the delay.
I didn't get the email.
I will resend it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I apologize. Maybe it went to spam or something.
It's okay, it happens.
Real quick, while Marissa's sending over the email, the pretrial monitor let me know that they had to contact the defendant because he was driving down the street where he wasn't supposed to near the victim's home. He said that he was driving for Uber, but they immediately made him stop because of the GPS coordinates. So I don't know what we can do in that aspect with him driving Uber if it's anywhere near the
He
the
just doesn't
victim's
get to pick up
address.
that ride.
Right,
It's that simple.
right. Absolutely, Judge, I agree.
I'm not going to prevent him from employment, but he's going to be very careful with that.
Agreed, Your Honor.
Any further violations and his bond will be revoked immediately.
Understood, Judge.
That concludes the proceeding. Y'all are free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Let's see. Brian Hernandez. If you and the attorney could go into the attorney-client meeting room. We're on the record in 23 CCR 234851, State of Texas versus Brian Hernandez. Let me go ahead and get an update, counselor.
So my name is Marcus Wilson. Paralegal. My paralegal filed the motion to sub on this case. I've spoken to the client. Once I get discovery and look at it, looks like we'll be able to come to a resolution.
This is my first notice of motion to substitute counsel, Judge, so I will make sure that Mr. Wilson, was it?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson gets his discovery. I'll send that over as well as the offer, and hopefully we can work towards resolution.
I'm sorry, what was your name again, counselor?
Marcus Wilson.
When did you file your motion to sub?
I was told it was filed this morning.
Oh, it's not filed yet. Okay. Because I had a motion to sub that was filed back in November, but for a Mogi Lavelle. But okay, as soon as I get did you file an order as well?
No, sir.
Okay, you're gonna need to file an order on that motion to sub. All right, that way I can get it, sign it, and we can proceed down this path to get this case resolved. That being said, though, we do have a pretrial conference coming up on 8/1 at 9 a.m.
All right, sounds good.
And if I may jump in one more time, Judge. Mr. Wilson, what is your bar number? Sorry. So I can just go ahead and send discovery via Odyssey.
2411-5128.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
All right.
All right, thank y'all for the update. You're free to go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Miss Griffin, I'm gonna need you to pull over and park. Let's go to the next case, Sarah.
They're both in person, Judge. Attorney and.
On Mingye,
Yeah.
Diana Mingwe, Mingyu. All right, Diana Mingyu and attorney in the attorney-client meeting room.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. Record
Judge,
in 23 CCR 234184, State of Texas versus Diana Mingyu. Counselor, if you can give me an update on the case.
yes, Your Honor, I received an offer from Gavin today, and I need time to go over it with my client. Additionally, I've very recently been signed on to the case, and I don't know if discovery's been shared with me. If Gavin has, if he can point me to the direction to find it, just because I couldn't find it in my emails or anything, but if it has been shared, then
Okay, yes, I tried to give you a call earlier to clarify that. I wasn't sure, I guess this will help going forward. If I've shared something to Vincent Tang, you don't have access to that at all, right?
unfortunately, I don't.
Okay, so going forward, I will make sure to reshare everything. I think that's also, it may be relevant on Caleb Snyder as well. But I think I may have sent you that on that. I'll go ahead and make sure you have that discovery, Mr. Murray. I'm sorry.
Thank you. No, and that's okay. I should have let you know that, yes, going forward, if I can just have the discovery reshared with me, that would be great.
Will do.
I appreciate that. And I think that's all we have on this one, Judge.
It's fine. Thank y'all for the update. You're free to go.
Counsel,
Thank
what is
you.
your name?
Nicole Tamori.
It's on the dockets.
Thank you.
Judge, I have one more. Do I?
Just have a seat in the courtroom. We'll come back to you shortly.
Great, thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Roy is in person.
Miss Griffin, are we parked? You're muted. I can't hear you.
Sorry, Judge. Yes, sir, I am.
All right. All right, we're on the record 23 CCR 234294, State of Texas versus Alejandro Lopez Resendez. Ms. Griffin, if you would give the important update on the case.
Yes, Your Honor. I was able to access the discovery. From my knowledge, the state is still waiting on testing from the lab, and that is the only thing outstanding. Once that's received, it's my understanding they either will make an offer or we'll move forward to trial.
Well, we're moving forward to trial regardless. Your push update is on 8/1.
Yes,
I'll
Judge.
see you and your client in person on that day.
Okay.
You're free to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is Roy in person?
Yes.
Yes. You sent me so many different ones.
All right, Judge.
I can't keep up with all the people that are in person today. All right,
Yeah.
if I could have Roy in the attorney-client meeting room. Mr. Cox, good afternoon.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad he's there because I have not been able to reach him.
All right, we're on the record in 23 CCR 234102, State of Texas versus Robert Roy. Mr. Roy, your attorney's going to need some contact information from you if it has changed. Do you want to go ahead and provide? Do you need a phone number or email? What do you need, Mr. Cox?
I had two numbers. The first number I had from Michael Hansen regarding vet court is not his. The number on the bond sheet I called today, the first time somebody said, hey, and hung up. Second time it said a voicemail's not set up. I called his bonding company as well, and they said they hadn't heard from him in a while. So I need good contact information because Mr. Hansen is willing to admit him into Veterans Court. This is the update too. But I need to get in touch with him to get him to come into my office to fill out all the rest of the stuff we got to do.
Okay. No problem.
Okay, can you give me your contact and you're a good contact phone number and email?
Well, yes, sir. It's 281-886-9888.
886-9888.
Yes, sir.
Do you have an email address or not?
Yes, sir. It's Roy Roberts, 62.
Hold on, it's Roy Robert.
Yes, sir. Roy Robert, 62 at gmail.com.
Okay.
Reason why I had that number because Boost turned the number off. They said I had an iPhone number. They wouldn't accept my payment.
All right. All right.
Well,
Give him a
I've got it
call,
now.
Mr. Cox. Get him in there to talk about Veterans Court, and hopefully by the next setting, it's transferred out into Veterans Court.
He should be. I talked to Mr. Hanson today. He's admitted if he wants to do it. I just need to get him in the office to go over the rules and regulations and everything.
Very good. You and your client are free to go. Thank you for the
Thanks.
update.
Thank you.
Ms. Booker, I need you to turn your video on.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. All right, we're on the record in 23 CCR 234251, stated Texas versus Angel Eduardo Santos Sustaven. Excuse me. All right, Ms. Booker, give me an update on the case.
My client has been approved for the retail theft diversion program. He has had some difficulty making an appointment to sign the contract because he's working out of town. So that's what he has to do this week.
All right, well, he's got a little bit of time for his pretrial conference in 8-1, where it is set for pretrial. So I expect him to be in the program before that date.
I'll do everything I have to do to make sure that happens, Judge.
Okay. All right, thank you for the update. You and your client are free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Craig. Let's get your client to turn her video on.
Yes, sir.
We're on the record in 23 CCR 234096, stated Texas versus Ashley Wasp. Mr. Craig, give me an update on the case.
Yes, Your Honor, we've received discovery. I reviewed most of it. I've received an offer from the state. I've discussed the offer with my client, made a counter offer to the state this afternoon. So I'm waiting on a response regarding our counter. So we're basically in plea negotiations, Your Honor.
All right, well, if you work the case out, just contact Sarah for a plea date.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you for the update. You and your client are free to go.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
We're on the record in 23 CCR 231499, stated Texas versus Laura Ritter. Mr. Chaco, Why don't you give me an update? Did you get, you are going to enter into a PTI or attempt it last time we talked?
Together a mitigation packet, not necessarily in hopes of a PTI, just in terms of a dismissal. We've turned that mitigation packet over, and me and Mr. O'Brien have spoken before.
Yes, Judge, that's accurate. We've received the mitigation materials. I'm still in the process of looking them over and discussing it with my chief, but likely if the materials are what they purport to be, then this will likely end in a dismissal, Judge.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the update, Mr. Chaco. You and your client are free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Hannah, will you please turn your video on? We cannot see you.
It's on. Okay, it's okay.
Yeah. All right. Mr. Hannah, I'm muting you. But thank you for turning your video on. We're on the record in 23 CCR 235871, State of Texas versus Christopher Hannah. Ms. Chi, give me an update.
So I have spoken with Mr. Hannah's mother, who is the complaining witness. She told me that she does not want to press charges, and she has signed an affidavit of non-prosecution, which I have forwarded to Ms. Chapa.
Okay, so y'all
I
are
just
still
need to-
negotiating then, I guess?
We're still working out, Judge.
I guess Ms. Chapa has not spoken to the complaining witness, and she wants to verify.
Okay, that's fine. All
okay.
right, next court setting is on May 23rd.
Well,
Okay.
Real quick, the defendant, he tested positive for marijuana on the 19th. He stated that he smoked because the death of his brother. He was told he needed to report back in 2 weeks for a follow-up UA. He said that was too much. He'd rather do jail time. He's delinquent.
I said I would
Whoa,
report
Mr.
it.
Hannah, stay muted, please.
Said he left the office upset. he has 1.24 community service hours left, and the last time he did community service was in November. And he had told the officer, when he reported with him, that he believed his case would be dismissed. So he needs to take this serious until there's a dismissal or whatever.
When you say community service hours, what hours from what?
He had community service hours, let me see. Let me pull it up. I can tell you exactly. Yeah, for his other case that he has.
I've got two cases. You got a third somewhere?
Well, he has a felony case.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. File the violation report. We'll have a hearing on it next Friday, the 5th, regarding his bond violation on testing positive for marijuana. I'll hear any arguments at that time. I expect everybody in person, April 5th, 9 a.m.
Your Honor, I have a conflict on that time. Is it possible to have another date? I apologize.
Can I ask a question?
Mr. Hanna, you're just gonna have to remain silent. You can ask your attorney any questions you like as soon as we're done here. Yeah, I'll hear it on Tuesday, April 2nd at 9 a.m.
Okay, that works. Thank you, Your Honor. May we be excused?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
The attorney in person, please, and judge.
Sarah, make sure you made a docket entry regarding that. I made a docket entry. Make sure you make some kind of record indicating we're setting a docket for him on April 2nd.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm sorry. What was that last thing you said?
His attorney's in the courtroom.
This is on Snyder.
Yes.
Mr. Tang, you walk into the attorney-client meeting room, or Miss Tamori. My
Yes,
apologies.
No, that's okay, Judge. Your Honor, so on this case, we have him scheduled for a TRAS for the Safe Start program on April 9th. We just need time to get the TRAS done.
All right. Well, you've got some time. Your next court setting is not until May 23rd. So
okay,
you can get the TRAS done and hopefully get an idea of where he stands by then.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're free to go.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. This is Attorney Mark Metz.
Good afternoon, Mr. Metz. If you could turn your video on, please.
Yes, good afternoon, Judge. How you doing?
Very good. All right, we're on the record in 23 CCR 234899, State of Texas versus Jesse Escamilla. Mr. Metz, if you can give me an update on this case.
We're waiting on the state to do a RIP call. And we don't have a RIP call, nor do we have an offer that we can even consider, right, at this time. We've been trying to get in touch with the complaining witness, and we haven't been. We've been hoping that the state was able to help us with that.
Okay, state.
Yes, Judge, that's correct. I've made some attempts to reach out to the complaining witness. However, given the nature of the case, I really want to make sure that I do before I proceed with any offer or potential resolution of the case. And of course, once I do get into contact, I will relay all communications that I've had with the complaining witness with Mr. Metz. So just want to make a couple more attempts before considering anything else.
Right. All right, Mr. Metz, thank you for the update. You and your client are free to go.
Thank you, Yana. Have a nice day.
Sorry, question. I barely got to hear everything.
Call your attorney. Call your attorney.
Okay, cool.
And Judge, are we still set for 417 Disco as our next setting for that case?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. I don't have Solis on the docket. Am I missing this case?
I believe Jeffrey Perdomo.
It's number 7.
No, numbers. Okay, here we go. This is a PTI status.
Yes.
That's what I wanted some clarification on.
Mr. Solis,
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
Mrs. Solis, my apologies. I'll make this real quick. Is your client in compliance with all his PTI conditions?
Yes, Your Honor, from what I understand, he's in compliance and no violations have been reported.
That's all we need to know. You and your client are free to go.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Judge.
Thank you. Does Mr. Jackson still want to speak to me?
Jacob text me that he had left. So
He left?
yes.
Okay, then. Ms. Dimmerin,
Yes, sir.
your attorney is not present. We are passing the hearing. Your next setting is on August 1st at 9 a.m. It's in person. We'll see you then.
Okay.
For
Thank you.
pre-trial conference.
Yes, sir.
You're free to go.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, that concludes the docket.
Thank you, Judge.
All free to